When you plunged the knife into me, you also began bleeding. My wound became your wound. Didn't you know? Love is a double-edged knife. You will suffer the way you make me suffer. Rupi Kaur.
Once again, featuring Rupi Kaur, because she is amazing.
Yeah, she's really good. Stephanie introduced me to Rupi, and I love it.
Yes. Yeah. She's a poet, and she fucking knows it.
Snaps, snaps, snaps. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Not in Our Will. I'm Danny.
And I am Steph.
And we're two women in our 30s navigating the trials and tribulations of life.
Raw, real, and ready to motherfucking talk.
Today, we're talking about domestic violence.
That we are, my friend. That we are.
I was saying, it seems somewhat, it's never appropriate, but right now domestic violence is really in the forefront with the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial.
Yeah.
Did you watch that at all?
I'm kind of a big fan of Twitter, so
okay.
I get all my news.
I didn't know you were a Tweety bird.
I'm a bit of a Tweety bird.
Oh, cute. Wow.
So, I feel like it has been blasted
everywhere,
on literally any fucking
platform,
social media
for sure,
that you open. So yeah, I did. My boyfriend watched a little bit of it as I was working. So I kind of overheard just the tiniest minuscule amount.
What do you know? What did you hear? What do you know?
I know it was a defamation trial.
Correct.
He was suing her.
Yep. Because
she made him look like a bad person. In
so
the
she
headlines.
Wrote an op-ed in which she did not ever mention his name, but there was a timeline that made it very clear to a reader
who she was talking about.
Exactly. So she countersued, saying that no, and also I think sued him for defamation as well, something like that. But yeah,
just a bunch of rich people fucking suing each other. It is,
but I think it's more than that in a way. I think the way that it was publicized, it makes it just a bunch of rich people, celebrities type thing. But yeah. I think it was important. I think from watching it, I've never been a fan, not that I'm not a fan, but I just never really cared about Johnny Depp at all. And to be fucking honest, I didn't even know who Amber Heard was.
Yeah, I feel like she was a B-list celebrity until she married Johnny Depp. Not gonna lie, I respect Johnny Depp a lot in his career, in the characters that he can play. He's very typecast, like a Tim Burton-esque actor. So I respect that from him, but I don't know.
So my point is that I didn't really care. I just really don't. But I was very intrigued. Cases like this, I was the Casey Anthony case, if you ever watched that, back in the day, that shit, that pisses me off. But anyway. Yeah.
It's an interesting case for sure. It's very interesting.
So he, from watching it and watching him, it's like you either fell in love with him again or you fell in love with him. And it's not because it was publicized. It's because you're listening to him fight for his life and his career and his his persona and just everything about him, because she has gone and made these very heinous claims against him of domestic violence. And as a man, nobody listened to him. Nobody heard him. Everybody's gonna believe her, and I
don't necessarily agree with you, though.
Okay.
I think that I'm not saying either right or wrong. Personally, what I get from it, I think they're both toxic. And
for sure.
We're good for each other, and that's just what happened.
Yes.
But also, I think they're both great actors.
She's a good actor?
Well, maybe I didn't watch... Maybe she's not a great actor, but he's a great fucking actor, so who knows, right?
So what does the acting have to do with that, though?
You can sit in a courtroom and act. You can put on a fucking performance to save your career, to save your life.
Interesting. But beyond that, Stephanie, there were countless of other people, not actors, that very much vouched and there was so much proof and evidence that she was in fact the abuser in the relationship. But I do agree with you. I don't think it necessarily was just her.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's moments he had, but
I think when two people get in a toxic relationship, it's the back and forth. I mean, maybe she wasn't in the right by trying to sue him in the first place, the first time.
Yes.
And you know what I mean? Claiming that he was the only one abusing her, claiming all of this stuff where, you know, she was doing the exact same thing to him. Maybe not physically, but manipulatively, emotionally and manipulatively.
Yeah.
It's hard. But you know what I mean? Like, I think that the both of them just, I don't know.
Yeah, you're not wrong. It didn't work. It didn't work. But it brought to light, and there was a really interesting point. There was one of the witnesses was a guy, I can't remember his name, I apologize. But they went to like a trailer park. It was like a fancy Hollywood type trailer park, and he was like the owner or something like that.
Right.
And so he testified because Amber Heard said that there was an issue there, and he trashed the place, blah blah blah. So they brought him in to say whether he did or not.
Right.
Which he says no, there was one broken sconce, everything else was fine, there was no yelling. And he said, to be honest, I heard her do the yelling, which a lot of the people said, I heard her. I watched her throw, I blah blah blah. But what was really interesting about him was he started to go on saying that it was very clear that I can't remember the exact question, but that she is the abuser because I've been in a relationship like this. I've been a victim and I know what it's like. And they obviously cut him off right away because it helped. But I'm just so curious of how many men, just can't. Or how many people in any sort of community, LGBTQ, Black, whatever, Indigenous, like that just can't say what's going on and what's happening behind closed doors.
And unfortunately, I think with a trial like this, yes, it's good that it's showing a different perspective that women can be abusers too.
Yes.
But at the same time, it makes people afraid to speak out because they're seeing the backlash that Amber Heard is getting, that Johnny Depp got in the beginning. You know what I mean? They're seeing all of this, so that it shuts people up. Why the fuck would you want to be?
But
like,
again,
this is what's happening to me. I mean, I know they're famous.
That's the
so
thing.
They're
like
getting the publicity and all of that.
It's tenfold. It's a lot more for sure. I mean, this is the thing. If you don't feel safe speaking out, I would never encourage you to speak out if you don't feel safe. That's the main thing. Whatever makes you feel safe. And I know sometimes it's hard to push yourself to do that, but I think keeping it in sometimes is just as painful and just as hard. So I think it's, this is the thing. He does have a voice. So he's been forced. He didn't want to. That's the thing that he made very clear. Like, this is not something that he wanted. There's literal voice recordings of him saying it didn't have to be this way to her privately.
Right. Yeah.
She made it what it was. And so in this specific case, I mean, I'm happy that he's speaking out. He felt forced, but I think it's important, even again, so if they don't want to listen to Johnny, the fact that one gentleman mentioned experiencing this as well, that's how two people that
absolutely
are, it's there.
It's hard, I think, for anybody to speak about domestic violence in any sense, right? Emotional, physical abuse, like anything, right? So it's good to at least have the topic on the table. Maybe the topic being on the table in this circumstance wasn't in the right way,
right?
But it's good to see it from both sides, right? Because a lot of the time it's a woman saying, I've been abused, I've been abused. And then with misogyny and, it's easy to be like, yes, I've been abused. But with a man, it's so much harder. It's so much harder.
You mentioned being in a relationship with somebody that was a narcissist.
Oh yeah, big time.
And because I mean, something that was also brought up in the case, and I might, because this is my going point right now. I'm using it as my marker, but they talk about, they had, I don't know if they were, therapists, psychotherapists, whatever they were. I should probably have written it down, but but these were women that were talking about the different types of abuse. So, when people think of abuse, a lot of the times it's you're thinking physical always, but it's beyond that. Oh my gosh, emotional, mental. It's just it's a stress. It's somebody else causing you harm on a consistent basis,
making you feel not like yourself.
Yes, draining the energy from you. Yeah. So with that being said, you being in a relationship with a narcissist, explain kind of if you...
Yeah, I mean, at first it's all fucking love bombs, right?
Yeah, it's a real thing.
It's a real thing. And then once you introduce them to your family, friends, they push those people away. So they make you feel like you're crazy. Like, it's just so many different things. So like any type of little thing will tip them off.
Yeah. Right? And in case people don't know, what's a love bomb?
It's when you first meet somebody, they promise you everything. They give you everything. They're the perfect partner, right?
Random gifts sometimes.
Gifts all the time. Narcissists are great at gifts.
Yeah.
Fucking great. My ex used to give me gifts all the time.
Yeah.
And then he would use that against me, right? Be like, oh, well, I bought you this. What do you bring to the relationship? You haven't paid for anything. Not true.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's a lot of different things. So love bombing, it comes really quickly. You get swept up into it. You're like, oh my God, this is the perfect partner for me. And then all of a sudden there's all these little nuances that come up. Like, oh, you had a few too many drinks. Now you're an asshole. That's weird. Right? There's a nuance.
Yeah.
Or, I got a really big test coming up tomorrow, but you got too drunk and now you're being an asshole to me saying how awful I am.
Yeah.
Like, these are all things that I went through, right?
Yeah.
And at the time when somebody love bombs you at the beginning, you're like, well, maybe this is just a one-off. You know what I mean? They were such a perfect partner. They were great for me.
Yeah. It makes it's a tactic. It confuses you.
Exactly.
Like, it doesn't. Yeah, I mean, fuck. I hate people sometimes. Like, I just. Do you think so? Again, using the Johnny Depp trial as a marker. So they talked about now diagnosing that one Dr. Curry diagnosed Amber from these several tests that she performed that she has, I think it was borderline personality disorder and something with an H disorder. So another type of personality disorder, both driven by aggression.
Yeah.
So do you think that most abusers would fall under some sort of mental
absolutely I do. Maybe some more than others.
Yeah.
And some are very smart with their words. Like narcissists are very smart with their words. So they make you feel like you're the one that has all of these issues. You're the one making the problem.
Yeah.
Right? But when you take a step back and when you get out of a relationship like that, I remember just being like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, this person literally made me feel like shit all the time. Got so drunk. Like, he never hit me, but he was mean.
Yeah.
Mean.
Yeah.
I remember he would just like leave and sleep in like random places. He would storm off and just be like ridiculous. But
doing the martyr.
Exactly. And then I would raise my voice because I would get upset. But then he'd be like, you're abusing me because you have raised your voice at me.
Gaslighting.
Right?
Yeah.
So then it's like, well, what am I supposed to do? I'm just supposed to sit here and take it? Right? So there's certain things like in terms of the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial, maybe if she was the one raising her voice, maybe there's a reason why. Right? So there's things like that for somebody who has been abused like that. Makes me kind of wonder a little. Just because it gets to the point where like you don't know what to do.
Yeah.
You're so stuck. Like,
and how long were you stuck there?
Like a year. On and off.
That's a long time.
On and off, though, because it would be like great, and then all of a sudden something would happen. A few instances where he absolutely pissed off my entire family. My entire family are amazing people.
Yes.
So to piss them off is, how'd you do that in the first place? Gave them a second try.
Which they were not happy about.
They were not happy about, and I had to like, you know, please. And that happened a couple times, right? And then same thing with like my best friends. Like my best friend Kristen saw it 3 or 4 times, like right in front of her. Right in front of her. So, I mean.
So, and then going off of that, like, why was it so hard to walk away from that? Did you see it at all? Like, what?
I did see it. I was like, well, this isn't making sense. This isn't how I should be treated. Right. But then there was times where it was like, of course, there's amazing times. He was very attentive. He like I said, he love bombed. He would give a lot of gifts all the time. He would go out of his way to like plan extravagant things because he knew exactly what I liked so that he could fucking use it against me. Right. So it wasn't love. It was him knowing what to do.
Yeah.
So that every time he was an awful person, I would come running back.
Yeah.
Right? So it's just, it's bizarre. And I'm a steadfast woman. I'm a very strong woman. I never ever thought I would be in that sort of circumstance. So it just goes to show it could literally happen to anybody.
Yeah.
So.
And so a lot of the times you're in it and sometimes it's too late.
Exactly.
Kids, marriage.
Yeah, you buy a house with somebody, you move in.
Get a dog.
Yeah. Then you're like, oh, fuck. Can't leave now.
Yeah.
Right? You can always leave though. Just an FYI.
You can. And when you do, I think there's like a transitional period that's so fucking hard.
Yeah, absolutely there is.
And it depends on the person on how long that's going to last for you. Depends on the situation, depends on a lot of things.
Yeah. Yeah, it gets to a point where I think there's people with good hearts, right? And you want to think that the person that you're with and that you've chosen to be with has a good heart too. And I think that's where a lot of this comes from. I think that people who are in relationships like this, the abused can be forgiving because we want the best. Not only for us, but for that person. Right?
Yeah.
So there's little strings, I feel, that are connected. And then slowly but surely, they get cut. Yeah. Right?
Until you can't.
Until it's hanging on by literally a thread.
Yeah.
And once that's cut, it's gone. And then all of a sudden you're just like, what the fuck, man? What the fuck?
It's regardless of it being, you know, a bad situation. So a lot of times it's like it's a weird comfort. And I've learned the new term of trauma bonding.
And that's exactly it, right? It's almost addicting.
Yeah.
Like it's that rush of like, ooh, there's a fight, but then we'll make up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like the sexual relationship was always so good because it was like so much tension and so much push and pull, which is natural for a sexual relationship. But not in that way, right? Like it's just, yeah. So that, I think that's also what keeps people in it.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I've experienced a trauma bond, not from, like I don't know how to generalize my last relationship. It's a lot of ups and downs, and I do love him very much. He's a good person, but we've had some hard times.
Absolutely.
But I think definitely there was a feeling of trauma bonding.
There was absolutely trauma bonding, for sure.
In a very emotional, like it was an emotional sense. It's not necessarily abusive or anything. It's just we were just like so emotional about everything. Little thing.
And then I feel like you guys were able to lean on each other for a lot of those things, which those things were not good things to go through.
No,
but
we're both very understanding people.
Yes, so I don't think there was any abuse in that way. I think there was just maybe
I think it was emotionally abusive, but for both of us, no matter who brought it on, I think it was just emotionally abusive. So I mean, it's really, I mean, he never did the narcissistic things that you went through, but it's interesting how you could still be in somewhat of an abusive relationship, and I'm sure he'd say the same thing. However, yours probably wouldn't.
No, exactly.
And there's
from his perspective, I was the one.
You're the bad guy.
Did everything wrong, right?
For sure.
He never could say sorry.
Right.
Ever.
Yeah.
I had to ask him to say sorry to people who I loved dearly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who he absolutely pissed off and like broke bridges.
We're done with him.
You know what I mean? Like crazy.
I'm going to read some statistics, or we're going to just talk about it. So approximately every 6 days, a woman in Canada is killed by her partner. That's crazy to me.
That's very sad.
Do you think COVID played into this?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think I remember at the beginning of COVID saying how I'm literally scared for any of those children, people abused.
I mean,
in
a lot of people
homes.
were forced to be at home.
Stuck.
All the time. So you didn't have that escape outlet like your work or your workout or going to see a friend, depending on your abusive relationship. Some people don't even allow that. But still, exactly. You know what I mean? Like, God, can you imagine?
But that's another thing. That's another abuse, being so controlling. It's not,
absolutely controlling.
You can't wear that. You can't hang out with this.
I remember my ex would be like, your friends don't love you.
Oh,
your friends aren't like,
go fuck yourself.
Your friends aren't there for you. Like, you have the worst relationship with people. And you like, and I allowed that to happen. So this is what I'm saying, people. It can fucking happen to anybody.
Yep.
Like everybody paints a beautiful picture on the outside. And one of my favorite sayings is, you never know what happens behind closed doors.
For sure.
Because people can look super, super happy.
Yep.
And be not happy at all.
Yep.
Or people can look super, super miserable. And behind closed doors, they have a great fucking relationship. So.
Yep. Gender-based. So who is most at risk of gender-based violence? So gender-based happens in all communities, cultures, and faith groups at every age and every income group. About 6 in 10 Indigenous women experience some form of violence in their lifetimes.
Yeah.
Indigenous women are killed at nearly 7 times the rate of non-Indigenous women.
And nobody cares. It's
More than 6 in 10 Indigenous women have physically or sexually assaulted.
6 in 10.
6 in 10.
That's 60%.
At some point since the age of 15. Compared with more than 4 in 10 non-Indigenous women. So regardless, that's insanity. So 40% and 60%. According to both police reported and self-reported data, younger women are at much higher rate. That makes sense.
Yep, big time.
Women with a disability are 3 times more likely to experience violent victimization than women living without a disability.
Do you remember reading about that case where a man who was like a PSW in like a long-term care home had raped one of the people living there, one of the women living there. She got pregnant. She was like non-responsive.
I did not know about this. Okay.
It's a thing.
Tell me more.
Yeah.
She was non-responsive?
Like she couldn't really talk or anything like that. She was non-responsive. So he had gone in and raped her and she got pregnant from it. So yeah, she couldn't talk or anything, non-responsive.
That's fucked. That is so fucked. Oh.
The world is a crazy fucking place.
Immigrant women may be more vulnerable to domestic violence due to economic dependence, language barriers, lack of knowledge about community resources. Newcomers traumatized by war or oppressive governments are much less likely to report physical or sexual violence to authorities.
Because they feel it's not that bad.
I don't know if it's that. It might be that they've experienced or had
worse.
that. Yes, as well, but also maybe the police or government or things did not help them,
or were the ones doing it,
or not helping them, or just regardless, it's trauma. Like that's another thing. If you have experienced trauma, sometimes you go
again,
when you have to do it all over again, you're stuck.
It's just like getting out of a traumatic relationship, trying to get into a healthy one.
Yeah.
You have to relearn a healthy fucking relationship. Right?
Yep.
It's insane.
Women who identify as lesbian or bisexual are 3 to 4 times more likely than heterosexual women to report experiencing spousal violence.
Interesting.
I would think that would be not.
I don't know. I feel like lesbian women have... first things first, it takes a lot of guts to come out, right?
Yeah, in general.
And to be in your own body and who you are meant to be. So I feel like maybe that plays a role. They're no longer afraid of that kind of thing.
That's okay.
So maybe, I don't know.
That's yeah, for sure. Transgender people are more likely to have experienced violence since age 15. More likely to experience inappropriate behaviors in public, online, and at work. 3 in 5 transgender women experienced intimate partner violence since the age of 16.
Wow, it's almost like, I don't know how to say this, but it's almost like the partner preys on them because they already know how hard their life is, like going through something like that.
Right. Well, they're
do you know what I mean? Like,
for sure. It's I want to say the word weakened, but it's not, because it's really not one of the strongest things that Absolutely. You can do. But I think that comes with so much self-esteem issues, and like you're just scared to just be in your own skin, that you are weaker and more open to people kind of
pushing you down. Yeah,
because everything is you're doing the best you can in a really scary fucking world that a lot of people don't like. I completely understand it, and it is hard to word it the right way, but fuck, I don't know, this kind of just grinds
our gears. Oh my god!
No.
Imagine
I need the pen for work tomorrow. So, okay, let's see what else. Studies show that when racialized women report violence, their experiences are often taken less seriously within the criminal law system, and their perpetrators routinely receive less harsh punishments.
Of course they are.
And that's just, that's our fucked up judicial system.
Yeah, absolutely. Honestly, minorities just don't have a fucking voice, or have the voice that they need to have.
Yeah.
Or they deserve to have.
Yeah.
And it's fucked up.
In Canada, racialized sex workers, including Black, Indigenous, and other people of color, as well as visible minority immigrant and migrant workers, face severe health and rights inequities, and concerns have been raised regarding racialized policing and barriers to report violence to the police. Fear of authorities is amplified among racialized immigrant sex workers, who often face discrimination, language barriers, privacy concerns, and precarious legal status. Indigenous women face 12-fold greater odds of being murdered or missing relative to non-Indigenous women, and these odds are exacerbated among sex workers. Research shows that decriminalizing all aspects of sex work is necessary to remove legal barriers and punitive policing that restrict sex workers' access to recourse and safer occupational conditions, and dismantle the belief that sex workers are unworthy of protection.
They absolutely are. Sex work is a fucking job.
Dude, you know how I've been looking into selling my feet and shit, selling my underwear?
Listen, okay? I mean, this wasn't necessarily the episode we were going to talk about this. But Danny and I have a funny fucking story about that.
What?
About, like, not necessarily sex work, but I got this DM.
I think we talked about that.
From a sugar daddy.
I think we talked about.
Did we already?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we talked about Mr. Sugar Daddy.
And it wasn't an actual thing.
No, it was a bot.
Yeah, no.
Listen,
I don't know. Sex workers deserve a fucking pension. They deserve a union. They deserve $25 an hour plus tips, if not more. I mean, it's still a job.
It's a job.
Still a job.
And think about it in this way, because a lot of people discriminate against it for some fucking reason. Think about it this way. Somebody's doing this, honestly, difficult work.
Yeah.
Like,
rusty old man. Nobody wants to suck your dick anyway. You're lucky that this pretty little woman is doing it for you, or this pretty little man, or whatever it may be.
And you're getting paid good fucking money for that most of the time. Most of the time.
Yeah, but then there's the issue of the person who is paying for the service feels like they own that person.
Oh, yeah.
So they can hit them. They can whip them. I mean, there's different types of sex work where that is allowed with certain words and with certain,
but that's
BDSM,
consent.
whatever, consent-wise,
Yes.
right? But unfortunately, a lot of the sex workers don't work in those types of environments. There's very little environments where sex workers can work and feel comfortable. Right?
Yep.
God damn.
Damn.
God damn. But yeah, we're going to sell our feet pictures.
Feet, if you want.
Crusty underwear.
Yeah.
We're going to fart in jars.
Whatever you want.
$25
Let us know. 25.
More?
Well, it depends on the fart, I think.
True. If it's a beefy wet one, like $100.
Could be.
Fuck, man.
They would pay. I think certain people will pay.
Some people would pay. I mean,
listen. Comment down below if you
$3,000
want
to shit on someone's chest. Like people are into some like crazy stuff.
And we've talked about that. Why can't we do that, Stephanie?
Because I'm afraid to poop on somebody. I feel.
You think I would not want to poop on somebody. That's not my thing. But think about that. Somebody wants that. Somebody has a fetish of wanting that, and
nothing else.
And there's a person, a sex worker,
who's like, okay,
I'll fucking do it for you.
I mean, I wish I was that.
You should say thank you to sex workers.
I wish that was my job, that I could just fucking shit on people.
There's fucking cuddlers. You pay for cuddlers.
I mean, I get it though. A nice cuddle. I mean, I get you maybe not so much would not enjoy that, but I'm like, I love a good cuddle.
Anyways, back to
domestic
violence. It's not funny.
No, it's true.
Aren't men just as likely to experience violence? So all violence is unacceptable, and any effort to end violence is worthy.
Of course.
However, statistics would indicate that women, girls, trans, non-binary people experience violence at a higher rate than men. Women self-report violent victimization at a rate nearly double that of men. Even after controlling for other factors such as age, other individuals' characteristics and experiences, the odds of being victimized are 38% higher for women than men. This difference is largely due to women's higher risk of sexual violence. The self-report research that also confirms that some face elevated risk of violence, such as women with disabilities and people who are lesbian, gay, and bisexual. A large majority, 79% of those reporting intimate partner violence to police are women. 67% of people who experience violence are women and girls. So obviously it's not that it's not there. I read somewhere here, I can't exactly find it now, but there was, it's a factor of, it would be hard to say, like, this is the thing. Sometimes when people think about equality and feminism in those two combined, it's that we genuinely want everything to be equal. That's not the thing. We don't want everything to be equal. What we want is to be treated equally. So does that make sense? Like, you don't need to give me exactly what they have. You just need to give me the same opportunities. So with that being said, I feel naive to say that, or ignorant to say that, to me, most men are going to be stronger than I am.
Physically, yes. Emotionally,
no, definitely not.
Absolutely not. But physically, yes. It's just in their nature.
And that is a factor and a fear that women do carry on a daily basis. So I have this argument or discussion, I'll say, or debate or whatever with my ex about it a lot, and we try to, you know, combat each other on equality and this idea of it. And you know, he's like, well, I've been in situations where I've been scared, and I'm like, but who have you been scared of? Like, who are you scared of?
Yeah.
Well, it was a guy. And I'm like, that's the point.
Exactly.
Very rare are you going to find, and now there's definitely scary women. Go back to Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. Like she's a scary woman.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like it's there. But it would be silly to say that men aren't stronger, therefore we're in fear more. I don't know.
It's just literally evolution and biology, right?
Right. It's human nature. Men are also more violent.
Men were the hunters. Women were the gatherers. It's just literally how have evolved. Yeah. Right. There's obviously going to be the in between of some people's bodies may not be as strong or whatever the case may be, but yeah, I feel like 80% of the time you're scared. You're scared. Like there is this one artist, I'm trying to think of her name right now. It's a musical artist, but she talks about how we as women have to walk with our keys in our fingers at night because we're so afraid of you. Kind of Courtney Barnett, that's the artist, that's the musical artist. So yeah, it's just that thing, like you're walking in a weird area at night, you're afraid, but then again it can go either way with any sort of violence. I feel like women can hit men too,
for sure,
and men can be so not know what to do. Like if your partner is hitting you in any sense, it's scary.
I'm curious to know, because I'm going to be, this is my experience. I'm not speaking for everybody. If I'm scared, I am scared because I'm afraid of a man or an animal, depending on the situation. I am not going to be walking the streets of Toronto scared of a woman. Like that's just how I feel.
Really? Because there's been some crackhead women that I have walked by, but and I'm like, whoa, she's crazy. I don't want to mess with her.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Right? There are some crazy crackheads. Even downtown St. Catharines will.
Oh, God.
Scary.
Yeah.
But what are they going to do? Yell at me? And
some of them are fucking crazy strong, dude.
Some of them
Look at 11 from Stranger Things. She could fuck your shit up.
Don't even get me started. Should we have a Stranger Things episode?
Yeah, we probably should.
I'm obsessed, if you don't know.
Pop culture in general. We could talk about the TV shows.
Oh, yes, I did want to. Yeah. So if you're experiencing any sort of domestic violence,
I think we've already done the whole thumb.
We did.
And the hand and the fingers over your thumb, fist. That's a thing.
Before we end, that kind of reminded me of something. So have you been seeing, like, would you consider domestic violence, and this might be stupid and again, ignorant or naive, to children? Like, or does that call
domestic? I think domestic
it's just
violence.
It's just partner and intimate spouse, right?
Yeah. Okay. I think that would be more child abuse or abuse in general. Like this domestic abuse means like,
I think
your partner.
And I think when I was reading the statistic, it very clearly stated many times intimate partner.
Intimate partner. Yeah.
Okay.
Domestic, like you're creating a home, like you have a home with this person. Yeah.
If you are experiencing anything, we'll link down below some resources. Excuse me, some resources or some websites that you can visit. We did talk about this, as we mentioned, our finger, the signal.
Yeah, there's a great home, the women's shelter. In Niagara as well. If you're feeling out of sorts, I'm sure, literally, like, reach out, just try. I know it's hard.
Yeah,
and I know when you're in it.
It's not that easy.
Doesn't feel like you are.
Yeah.
But I can promise you that when you're out, your life will change.
On that note, who's our musical guest? Or
so
guest?
Once again, I wish. Every fucking time.
Sorry.
No, it's okay because I truly wish. Like, imagine, like, here's a tiny concert. But yeah, no. So the musical artist today is Jessica Lea Mayfield. So she is an American singer-songwriter from Kent, Ohio. She's known for her ominous songwriting, plaintive, minimalistic style that draws on country/rock. She was born in 1989, so she's she began playing and writing songs at age 11. Her newest album, well, I guess it was not super new, but it came out in 2017. It's called Sorry Is Gone. So basically, Jessica went through an abusive relationship, and pretty much every single song on this album will strike a chord if you've been there. So give her a listen, and here she is. But anyway, on that lovely note,
thank you for listening, everybody. Thank you for your support all the time.
Follow us,
like us, subscribe. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, either way.
Yep.
Thanks.
No problem.
On that note, let's boogie.
Catch you on the flip side.
Bye.
Bye.